Hi all, very good afternoon. So we shall be starting in next 2 to 3 minutes. Yes. Thank you for your patience and for joining us. Hello, all. Very good afternoon. Before I start, if you can just tell me, am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, hello, all. A very good afternoon. Myself, Ekta Dubey, on behalf of the Branalytics team and our partner, eCubix, we welcome you all on a very interesting roundtable, which is Digitise captive power plants in steel and metal extraction through eCubix, DP3MS, and gain cost leadership. So before we start this roundtable, there are a few guidelines that I would like to highlight and make you people aware of. Requesting our attendees to please be on mute when the speakers are taking the sessions and the panel discussions are on. We would definitely encourage Q&A after the roundtable. And during the session, you can put your questions on the chat box from where our panel speakers would love to take it. There are certain set guidelines for this. You need to raise your hands, unmute yourself, introduce yourself, and put your questions to the speaker. So now, before I start this very interesting session, I'm happy to introduce our partner, eCubix, owned by Value Chain Solutions India Private. eCubix provides smart solutions for business transformation in the area of manufacturing, supply chain, sales, and infrastructure services. Their solutions offer digital enterprise, industrial IoT, data science and analytics to clients worldwide, process efficiency, and real-time actionable insights to optimize and transform your business. So now, before I move on, I'm happy to share an interesting video of eCubix. Mahima, I would request you to please stop sharing your screen. Thanks, Mahima.
eCubix. We are eCubix, the growth catalyst in your digital transformation journey, tuned to the pulse of the digital future. We drive innovation with the digital technology ecosystem. From a humble beginning in 2006, we have transformed eCubix as one of the top industry 4.0 solution providers. We are now serving clients in 15 plus countries. We are a CMMI Level 3 certified company, serving 100,000 plus users with a strong team of 200 plus technocrats. So far, industry has achieved more than $350 million saving from eCubix products and services, and the same is still counting. Our presence is in industries like cement, agrochemical, pharmaceutical, pulp and paper, minerals and metals, ports, oil and gas, power. eCubix is organized in 4 strategic business units, each focusing on different area of an enterprise. Smart Factory to improve production process and asset performance. Smart Supply Chain for better fleet management. Smart Channel for brand protection through genealogy and serialization, and Smart Sales for field activity management. eCubix brings global best products to solve industry problems through strategic business partnerships with world leaders like OSI Soft, now Aviva, Seek, Waterfall, Sato, Microsoft. eCubix is your growth catalyst for digital age technologies.
Hello.
So
Yeah.
now I would request Mr. Anup from eCubix team to take it from here. He has the Marcom. So Mr. Anup, please take it from here.
Yeah. I welcome everyone on behalf of Ecubics to this roundtable. My name is Anup and I'm heading the marketing here. Just let me share my screen. Ekta, is it visible?
Sure, welcome. No, Mr. Anup, your screen is not visible. If you can
Not
reshare.
visible. I'll just reshare just a moment. Now?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, friends, welcome. I'll just take 10 to 15 minutes to explain you something about what we can do with your captive power unit. And you know what, how this whole idea was conceived. Basically, cost of electricity tantamounts to 60 to 50% of all your input costs, especially when I talk about steel industry or aluminum extraction industry. So any control here can bring down the cost of production significantly. Bringing down this cost of production is also more and more a subject of the very survival of India as of our industry, I would say, as it increasingly integrates itself to the world economy. All right. So as India integrates itself to the world economy, as we are trying our best to, compete with China as one of the biggest manufacturers in the world. Well, if we don't reduce our costs of inputs, we'll never be anywhere. So hence the topic, cost leadership. And what we are trying to tell you is, well, you can achieve this cost leadership if you apply our product DP3MS to digitize your captive power plant. So even though we have shown the corporate video, I would still talk to you a little bit about company overview. So we are an innovative, tech-driven and forward-looking organization specializing in the area of Industry 4 application and gearing ourselves now towards the Industry 5 technological revolution. We provide solutions towards IIoT, machine learning and artificial intelligence. Our platform provides pre-validated data and embedded formulae on which numerous database use cases can be built on. So ultimately, what we are going to give you is a platform on which you can, apply many use cases. And this is a total plug and play mechanism. It requires no coding, right? So you can, derive your own results from it. So we not only create a single data highway, we also provide data in a form which enables each department to take database decisions out of data from this single stream. So there is no anomaly and there is no, silos inside the organization. So just to, so now when I talk about vision, mission, and values, normally these things seem very, thoda aisa lagta hai we are talking about larger than life things. But I would just talk about our values so that you are able to feel Ecubics much closer to you, So we, all of our employees in this company and our owners are bound by the core values. So core values of Ecubics are commitment, openness, respect, and enthusiasm. So when we say commitment to our people, internal shareholders and people, customers, companies, society, and to our nation, right? When it comes to openness, we enable free flow of ideas across the organization. So in our organization, everyone has the right to, speak up and bring out his opinion. Now, when there is an opinion, if you respect someone, you listen to him. Otherwise, you say, no, this guy is foolish and we don't want to talk about him. We don't want to listen to him. So, well, in our organization, there is an insistence or respect for everyone. And at times, even our, office boy has given us some very good ideas which have been implemented. And last but not the least is the enthusiasm. The and enthusiasm is to desire to navigate into the unknown and with pace, but with care. So I move forward. When I talk about our industrial presence, as you can see, we are present in most of the industries and most of the top organizations in all these industries. And what makes us reach here is our data integration solution is essentially industry as well as vendor agnostic, right? So therefore, we are able to integrate any industrial organization together and any kind of software together into a single data stream. Hence, we have an experience in catering to the large base of industries in India as well as abroad. We are one of the top 5 solution providers in APAC region. I am talking about a solution of this kind, which I am actually trying to talk to you about. Well, we provide these 8 products. Some of these products are industry specific, others being industry agnostic. Today, we'll be talking very briefly about DP3MS for our captive power units. So when we talk about DP3MS, Digital Power Plant Performance Management System, this is a product which we have developed through distilling our experience in the many power industry assignments that we have already done. We are, so when I come to this topic, what are the top of the mind issues one has as an outcome of this tool? So if you apply this tool, what do you wish? So, well, first thing you wish is reduction in terms of cost of generation of the power. Well, next you will wish that there should be reduction in the cost of maintenance of your assets. Third is increase in availability of all your assets. And fourth is increase in overall asset reliability. So to say, prevent uncontrolled asset downtime. Because a small downtime in power in CPP also can cost huge amount of money for any company, right? So, when we talk about how do we make this captive power unit efficient? Well, there are 2 basic ways in which we can make it efficient. One, by optimizing station heat rate. Another is by reducing the auxiliary power usage. What our platform will provide you is an enabler to database decision making rather than taking decisions out of a gut feel. So what we will, so benefits which are accrued are written out here, and we have written down 9 these benefits. Coming to the similar thing, if I present on the basis of a departmental wise information, well, process efficiencies are derived in each department out of the real-time data capture and providing this data to each department in terms of these reports which are specific to each department. So for management, we have generation report, state of the plant, CEMS dashboards, balance scorecard, etc. For performance areas where the performance is being measured, well, boiler efficiency, APH input parameters, etc. there. In case of engineering division, we provide all these boiler trip, purge, feed, water cycle, etc. All these kind of reports are available. In operational areas, well, PA fan outputs, ID fans, the way they are working, secondary air, dampener control, etc., drum level, everything would be available to you in real time, so that you can apply solutions then and there. Not that you are, looking at the past data and all that. Everything will be available to you quite much in the real time. Now, on this slide, I want to actually tell you about optimization through CBM. So so maintenance cost is what gets impacted the first through a solution, as you're able to now move from scheduled maintenance to condition-based maintenance. So what will happen is you will be able to now, all the condition of all your assets will be now available to you right in front of you, through your laptops, right? And there you can easily see what is the condition, and you can decide on when to basically apply the maintenance there. So thereby you are able to reduce at least one scheduled maintenance cycle. This itself spells 8% cost reduction for an asset which is under monthly maintenance schedule, right? So even if I reduce one cycle out of 12, that comes to roughly 8% of benefit. Coming to next slide, as one starts getting trends from continuous data pertaining to assets, one can build, study the trends, and one can build predictive trends and apply preventive failures and reduced unplanned downtimes. We also have an advanced tool for asset management through predictive analytics. That is, of course, over and above this tool, but it is always applied above the present tool which I am talking to you about. Now coming to to the part where, you know, I would say our execution process is also very, very, I would say very democratic process of executing. So we first initiate the project through a kickoff meeting, and after getting the, you know, idea of the scope of work in detail and allocating the project to the relevant managers and team people in our internal team, we visit your plant and we validate, we visit the site for validation against the scope of work which have been told to us. If the scope is having a little bit here and there, then we get back to you and tell you that maybe you can increase the scope to this level or maybe reduce the scope. This gives a very practical understanding of the requirement. When the execution phase comes, well, it involves deployment of product and a tailored solution. And we conduct in-depth training for the client for a seamless transition to newly deployed system. And this seamless transition is not only done for the management or the senior management, we also do it to the last operator. So until now, unless our operators are happy with our execution, well, I can tell you, you will not be able to succeed and you will not be able to drive any success from our this platform. And last but not the least is the sign off when the project is finished and we take a site acceptance test. This, of course, is common for all the organizations which will be implementing this. Now I come to a place that why should you look at eCubics? There are, of course, other people also. Data integration is not a solution which is so specific to one company. Well, yes, what we can tell you is, first and foremost, we are having a rich experience and expertise in domain and technology. As you can see through our customers, which we have already given our solutions to, Dr. Reddy's, Vedanta, ONGC, all the so many at Hindustan Zinc Limited. Virtually all these organizations are world level organizations, right? But Tata Power, right? And they are renowned in the world for their technological and for their management staff also. And we have experience to be talking to them, to be able to satisfy them and provide expertise in domain and technology. And the next part is statistical modeling that we have created of real life challenges. So for any industry, we have a rich experience. So if I'm talking to Steel Authority of India, I will be bringing with myself, JSW Steel experience of mine and other steel organizations where I can come and give you some ideas how to, provide, additional management solutions that, of course, your organization will be having. Well, we also have result-driven methodologies, which we have created out of our system. Our learning has been very well captured and put into and is imparted to each employee through internal trainings. When we talk about process auditing and re-engineering, that is what we do. When you ask us to on an AMC level, when we are working with you, we provide you process audits and re-engineering models where we can keep improving what is being done in the organization. We also leverage hidden potential through cross-country benchmark. So cross-country benchmark, I've already talked to you about, but I would also say cross-country, I will say across the world benchmarks. So we also bring with ourselves some international top individuals who we can bring to your organization, and for a consulting, where you people can discuss what international organizations are doing for solving an X problem, which obviously they would have also gone through their growth curve. And last, 360 degrees of remodeling of hidden junctions of operations. So this is where we would say, why eCubix? These are a few testimonials. I would only talk about one testimonial here, so many out of so many. VCS offers a truly unique and innovative solutions. This was talked to us by Dr. D.S. Ghai, business head north of ACC, India. And I somehow feel that this actually captures our spirit. We are very unique and innovative when we are applying a solution. These are the executive projects with us. We have already discussed this, and I'll move forward about power. In power, we have done these 7 very large executions. In Tata Power, the 60 renewable sites are still being done, but we have already done the major part of the operation by integrating the 3 hydro and 15 TPS solutions. Now coming to basically executed management dashboards, well, you can see these are the kind of dashboards which we provide to you, and it shows you collective view of all power plants. It also shows important parameters of all the units in each plant, like capacity, generation, auxiliary power consumption, etc. So what benefits are accrued is business overview is available at a glance, information is available on the go, and real-time data for all plants and unit-wise are in one place. And all these dashboards are interactive, mind you. When it comes to performance dashboard, which is, not only throughout the organization, but also we can give you performance of each asset. This dashboard provides the overall performance of the equipment. For example, turbine, boilers, cooling tower, etc. Performance of all critical equipment is provided in a single dashboard, and you can, custom these dashboards. This is a beautiful dashboard which we created for an organization. I have obliterated the name, of course, but they have given us a lot of, thanks internally. And they, so it was a very big client with a thermal-based generation. And this dashboard lets the operations team clearly understand where they stand vis-a-vis the demanded efficiency. The anomaly gets highlighted in real time. Hence, nearly instant corrections can be made. So you can see these red lines now moving on the right side. So they can see that what all is affecting my problem, and you can straight away go and take a corrective action there, and in the basically parameters, and you'll be able to control the losses. The last column here, you can see the trend graphs. They can be, on one click, they get magnified, and you can make a deeper root cause analysis. Now, I would like to come to the juice of what I have talked about. That they say, there is money, there is honey, right? So when I come here, I have to take recourse to international clients, because these people come forward and tell us what benefits they have accrued. Indian clients, refuse to tell that in public. So, and I cannot reveal anything which have been not told in public. So coming to AGL, it's an Australian gaslight company, is a large power generation and gas supplying public limited company in Australia. And here, you can see that the benefits which they accrued after the from data blind to data driven, that's what they describe the journey. So what one of the testimonials by head of asset performance, Mr. David Bartolo, says, the ROI is so ridiculously high that we struggled with our finance people, and the finance people insisted that there was no error in their calculations, right? So, so this answers when people, when everyone would ask me that, Mr. Garg, what is the ROI you're going to give me? Well, this is the kind of thing which we get from our clients. Heineken, it has nothing to do with the power. Of course, we know Heineken ki बहुत famous beer आती है. But why this I have put forward here is for condition-based management, maintenance. And here, the testing by maintenance development engineer, Mr. Magnus Hobbaum, was very, very apt when he said that the benefit is we can find a failure before it occurs. And then we can have a planned maintenance activity instead of an unplanned one. Right? Yesterday night, in fact, we have received a mail from one of our very big clients thanking us. But they have said this has to be treated confidentially, so I cannot name them. But they were able to control the batch, failure of their motor in a batch, where if this batch, which was very, very expensive batch, had this failed, it would have been equal to all the implementation costs they have incurred with us for 4 years till now. Right? Coming to EDF, EDF is a large power generation company of France. And as you can see, they have highlighted their monetary benefits of 700,000 euros per year of production recovered from all the wind farms they had, and 30 million euros of avoided costs in 6 years because of early fault detection. And the head of IoT at EDF, Mr. Fabian, says that now everything is monitored in Pi. It's more accurate. You have the ability to do exactly what you want. So when the monitoring becomes completely accurate, you also can, relax when the things are okay. Only when there's an alarm, you need to move and take a corrective action. Coming to my next, this thing is Ansaldo Energia. This is a power generating company in Italy, Genoa. And this use case highlights how data collected from various assets converge into finite templates, enabling database decisions throughout the organization. The diagnostic systems technical leader, Mr. Sandra Gileni, says the result of this one unique platform for several different technologies, utilizing 300 machines, condensed into just 18 templates. Now, I repeat, 18 templates with low and easy maintenance. This is exactly what we have already done in ONGC also. We have all the huge data of ONGC was converged into just 18 dashboards. Of course, they drop down to many other dashboards, but basically the top management needs to only observe 15 to 18 dashboards to get what is happening in the whole organization. And last but not the least is our own India operations of Tata Power. And Tata Power is one of our most prestigious partners in their digitization journey. And we have integrated all the thermal units into a single grid. The same for the green assets is underway. All this integration was done within a record time without a loss of even one string of data. This was, unthinkable. That's what Tata Power people told us. And Mr. Urvish Modh, not a small personality, group head maintenance, highlights our top level service commitment levels through this testimonial. He talked about our gentleman. I've removed the name, of course. This gentleman has attended the emergency site visit and completed the task in minimum time. He has faced many issues to revamp the system. His approach for finding resolution was very good. Right. And this is where, it happened in a very odd hour during Diwali holidays. And this guy traveled from Gujarat to immediately to Mumbai, and he was able to give them instant solution. And recently we have also been awarded by Tata Power the first implementation of data diode solution in Tata Power. In India, actually, that is the first implementation of this kind of a technology used especially for cybersecurity. This is all I had to say. Thank you so much. We have offices in India and Singapore, and we are absolutely keen to service you who are on the panel today. Thank you so much. Over to Ekta.
Yes. Thank you so much, Mr. Anup, for sharing your insights. So, before I move on to our roundtable, I would like to know, do we have any questions? You can put your questions on the chat box if any, or you can yourself unmute yourself and ask our speakers.
Ekta, this is Vivek Gupta. I have already shared a question with Mr. Anup. Can you kindly see
Yes,
your
sir. Yes,
checkbox?
sir. Sir, I would answer it the moment this webinar is over. Would that be fine? I have not even checked the question because I was more interested in actually presenting. Just a moment.
Okay, so what we do is, Anup, we can connect tomorrow because today I have another meeting lasting till 6:30. So we will anyway go connect later on.
Sure, absolutely. Sir.
Thanks.
Yeah, Mr. Anup, it's Adarsh here.
Yes, Adarsh.
Actually, whatever the solution that whatever you're offering in the power plant. So I just wanted to know, I mean, in power plant recently, I mean, in power industry, we have got multiple performance management system, which includes PADO also, if you can recall, supplied by the STIAG. So is it somehow, is it different? What is the difference between PADO and the solution that you're providing? Is it almost the same or something? What is the uniqueness in that?
Okay. See, in case of the solution which you have, not that I'm very well aware of this solution, but I'll try to answer it to whatever limited knowledge I have about it. Because there is a technical team available who can, come back to you on that. But basically, all these SCADA systems bring in data and provide it to you at a place. But our solution, it goes ahead of that. We also create a lot of calculations through embedded inside the platform to give you an analytical data. Secondly, this data is pre-validated, which cannot be done by SCADA, but our system validates the data also. And at times, if the data is lost, we are able to even create a small AI tool where this data is replicated into the curve is made. So even if you have a loss, the completion of the data is handled by a system. And ultimately is the visualization which is offered to you, which is customizable, which can be customized into 1 million dashboards if you wish to, right? Of course, if you ask our services, each dashboard will cost you something. But if you can do it yourself, it's very easy drop down, pick and drop down menu can be made. So you can create your own dashboards. You can actually completely plug and play with this system, and you don't need any kind of coding which is required. So these are the specialities of our system, which makes us very resilient. And last but not the least is, on this system, you can base all kind of AI applications which are available in the world. So as Ecubex, I'll be able to place a small amount of it, right? But there are experts. There are experts in AI. There are experts in robotics, for example. All these people can come over and apply, and everyone will require this platform to, take off from here.
So does it require additional investment on the installation of additional sensors or instruments, or
no,
you can do it with the existing system only?
With existing system, if the SCADA is complete with existing system, if you need some special thing and you need to collect more data from the machine which is not provided by the SCADA, we'll have a sensor and collect the data. Not a big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Anup, Vivek Gupta here once again.
Yes,
you have offered a solution DPQMS, right?
Yes, sir.
Digital Power Performance Management System.
Yeah.
Is it different for captive power plants, different system, and the bigger power? Because the captive power plant people, they are not selling power. It is only for the captive use. So nothing to do with that. They are making huge profits out of selling power. And people like the other utilities like NTPC or private energy, producers, they have a different kind of their strategy. So I just want to know whether the solutions for both are same, or DPQMS is dedicatedly only for the captive power plants.
Okay, DPQMS is dedicated for the captive power plant, but see, it's a derivative of the solution we are given to power companies. So when it comes to Tata Power, they are all selling the power, as you know, right? Huge power seller for Mumbai, for example. So for them, yes, we have given all solutions for even the distribution matrix, right? But for DP3MS, it's we have just customized it for an internal power unit. Because what happens is, what we have found is, whenever we go to do a solution in any metal company, they always come up with this power solution. We end up giving them a power solution, and this power solution is let's say around 1500 odd tags are required, and we are only talking about power generation here. But if you want to sell it, if you want to execute the selling part, we can add a few modules and make it equal to the system which you're talking about.
So this system is not coming from Aviva or OSI Soft. This is your own
Coming,
own
yeah,
system,
yeah.
right?
It has their, it is part of their expertise, part of Seek, part of other software solutions also. So you can call us as, you know, cooks, you know, taking things from here and there and, you know, mixing together to give you a very good customized solution.
So Pi system and DP3MS are different. Am I right?
Not exactly. I would say heart of DP3MS will be Pi system.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Vivek, for your questions and Anup answering it. Now, I would like to move on to our very interesting roundtable where we have very interesting speakers to share their thoughts on. As we all know, we are talking about digitization of captive power plants and steel and metals extraction through DP3MS, eCubics, and gain cost leadership. This discussion will be focused around a few pointers that I would like to highlight. That's the role of Industry 4.0 in power generation and efficiency, how data integration is transforming the metal and steel sectors, real-time big data integration solutions and its benefit, and how does predictive maintenance work in increasing key assets efficiency. And now, before I move on, I'm happy to introduce our speakers for the day. We have Mr. Saurabh Singh, Assistant General Manager, Energy Management Department with Steel Authority of India Limited. Mr. Ranjit Ganguly, Group Head Business Excellence with Tata Power. Mr. Lokesh Chobisia, Team Lead SCE and Digital Transformation Projects with Hindustan Zinc. Mr. Nilesh Shah, Vice President and Business Head of Steel Structure Division and Machinery Division with Jindal Steel and Power Limited. Mr. Saurav Ghosh, Head Condition Monitoring and Asset Monitoring and Diagnostic Center MED, Mechanical, Tata Steel. Mr. Alok Mukherjee, Subject Matter Expert with Power Generation. And we also have team from eCubics, Mr. Ankit Thakkar, VP Strategic Sales, Value Chain Solutions India Private, to share their thoughts on. So now, before I move on, I would like to first invite the thoughts of Mr. Saurabh Singh from Steel Authority of India. So thank you, Mr. Saurabh, for joining us. Please share your thoughts.
Thank you, Ekta and Mr. Anup and the entire team of Brain Analytics and eCubics, and for inviting all of us for this session. And indeed, the topic is very interesting, the digitalization of captive power unit to optimize its efficiency and also the cost of running. So as I look forward for the next 45 to 60 minutes talking about what has been our experience collectively, indeed, especially when our organization or in general, people have thought about the digital transformation to optimize the energy efficiency as well as the cost of operation. And today I would love to speak about how we can improve the energy efficiency of the gas-fired furnaces in case of iron and steel industry. And as we know that steel manufacturing is a backbone industry for all our developmental process today, and providing raw material for machines which are indispensable part of every big and small industry. The process of steel making results in the production of byproduct gases, as we know, blast furnace gas, coke oven gas, and LD gas. And if reused as a source of energy, the blast furnace gas, which we produce as a byproduct fuel gas in steel industry, is of calorific value around 800 to 850 kilocalorie per normal cubic meter. Similarly, coke oven gas with a higher calorific value of around 4000 kilocalorie per normal meter cube, and LD gas, or we can also say converter gas or BOF gas with a higher calorific value of approximately 2000 kilocalorie per normal cubic meter. However, the generation of LD gas is in a batch process, so a gas holder is required before its utilization. And identifying this as a potential energy resource, efforts are being made to achieve 100% utilization of these byproduct gases arising out of improved operating practices in steel making units. So in addition to the conventional utilization of these gases for the combustion and heating requirement in various shops such as coke oven batteries, sintering unit, blast furnace, reheating and annealing furnace, the surplus of these gases are being used for power generation. However, improving the efficiency of these furnaces leads to the increased availability of byproduct gases for the power generation, as well as it replaces coal as a fuel for power generation for the same. So we can say that benefits are twofold. First, by improving the energy efficiency in these gas-fired furnaces has a direct impact on the cost, as we are replacing coal by byproduct gases as a fuel in the boilers. And second, and the most important, is the reduction in the carbon footprint. Now, we have to shift our focus on how we can increase the efficiency of the gas-fired furnaces. So here, digital transformation can be a game changer. And let's take an example of a use case how Industry 4.0 can play a vital role in increasing the energy efficiency in these furnaces. So reheating furnace is a very vital unit, as we know, in a hot strip mill, which reheat the slabs coming out from the caster for further rolling on a temperature above its crystallization temperature. Now the challenge is generally we faced by the mill operators is the real-time adjustment in the fuel and air ratio based on the type of input slab in the furnace, in this reheating furnace, which sometimes is in cold condition, sometimes in hot conditions, because of its supply chain and alteration of the holding time based on the input condition. I mean, if sometimes it is coming as a hot condition, hot charge, so the holding time must be lower than that for a cold charge. And uniform heating of the slab is another challenge. Minimization of scale formation due to excess oxidation of slabs at high temperature, and the optimum consumption of fuel gas and air. So these are the challenges faced by mill operators generally at hottest mill. So reheating furnace brings cold metal to the correct temperature for rolling, extruding and forging. So for optimum quality and to reduce wastage, the temperature should be uniform throughout the products, which requires the accurate temperature monitoring. In addition to above, temperature measurements are the key to providing optimized heating trajectories for the metal, which results in significant energy saving, consistent metallurgical property, and also the minimal surface scaling. So reheating furnace can be considered as a major consumer when it comes to the energy consumption. There is a major potential to save energy, reduce product scale losses, and furnace has a major role in improving the product quality. So to achieve the optimal management of entire reheating furnace, we usually look forward to a solution which can provide optimal process execution strategies for achieving performance of reheating furnace. And the most effective solution to this is a real-time artificial intelligence based decision support system. So this use case is talk about this AI-based decision support system for reheating furnace, and it can process the reheating furnace details, the entire sensor data, metadata, historical data for achieving the optimal operating parameters by taking into the consideration of slabs, billets, blooms, depending on the industry. It can also assist the reheating furnace operators in terms of a set of possible operating parameters to get an optimized result. In short, this can also assist key stakeholder both in the planning phase as well as in the operation phase for knowing what should be an optimal parameter to reduce the cost of operation without compromising the end of quality of reheating material. So the benefits is of this AI-based system, as there is no human intervention is required at all. It is a parallel to the conventional system, and it supports as a decision support system. And also the another benefit is having the capability to process the raw data received from various heterogeneous sensors, camera, actuators, and other existing control system. It can also handle the data sources capable to assist operators both in the planning and operating phase, and for making well-informed decision in a very much faster way. It also enable a historical analysis for daily analysis or for root cause analysis for any cause, reduces the duration of decision making about the asset operational performance or management, and last not the least, its beauty is that it can be extendable both horizontally and vertically. That's it, Ekta, from my side. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Saurabh Singh, for sharing your insights. Now, can I invite the thoughts of Mr. Saurav Ghosh? Thank you for joining us.
Oh, good afternoon, all. Am I audible, loud and clear?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
Thank you. So I've just heard of Mr. Anup and Mr. Saurabh Singh's speech, and there is no doubt on saying that in today's scenario, digitization and on top of that, digitalization is the need for the industry, be it a captive power plant or be it for any industry for that matter. So at Tata Steel, we have some captive unit based on this byproduct gas, as Mr. Singh mentioned about similar facility as SAIL is also having. But I'll focus here more on the availability part. So availability means that we have to make sure that at least the power is available for the minimum or critical load of the plant. So for that, it is very important for us to make sure the critical assets of the power generation units are available. I'll talk more about, let's say, predictive maintenance and how, let's say, we are adopting what should be the philosophy now for the industry to take. In this particular, it is not like that digitization was not there before. It was also there before, but the way we are adopting with the help of these new technologies, especially in the era of Industry 4.0, that makes us very convenient to take decision based on available data, which basically we are getting from the equipment or generating from the equipment as well as from the processes. So I think in our cases, it is what we look for is that how we can make sure that our automation maturity is very high. So automation maturity means the availability of field devices, sensors, etc. And of course, data laking. And followed by that, once our automation maturity is very high or significantly high, we can use those data for decision making. And the end goal is to make sure that our availability of the assets are very high. We predict failure, any anomalies well before, so that our maintenance team gets sufficient lead time to make sure that the maintenance initiative is taken properly. There's no unplanned outage, etc. So we focus on primarily two aspects, like we call it, let's say, MTTR, mean time to repair, and MTBF, mean time between failure. So our end goal is to increase MTBF of the asset and also increase the MTTR, or let's say reduce the MTTR by making sure that if there is an anomaly available or we could detect, at least the spares are ready. The maintenance teams make sure that everything can be done in a very shorter period of time. So there are a lot of talk about in Mr. Anup's presentation about integration, and I also believe that integration is a very key aspect today's scenario for predictive maintenance as well, because you have a lot of systems. Because today we are talking about Industry 4.0, there are a lot of systems. Earlier it used to be the SCADA system or the DCS system. Now we have many more systems. Some independent system, third-party system, SAP's data or CMMS data, etc. all together. How we can bring all data together, and the challenge is that we have multiple platforms. So integration is very important, so that all the different set of data, situated at different platform come together, and then finally decision making can be done, and people can take specific action on that. So that is one part which is very important. So it is not only important that we make sure we add sensors, we add a lot of analytics, we build up a lot of analytics, etc. But it is also very important how we integrate and make the information in front of, let's say, decision maker to take a decision. Second part is also that at least that is what we felt is that so there are a lot of systems, there are a lot of alerts are being generated based out of a lot of analytics, etc. But the important part is also that close looping of those alerts, etc. Otherwise, so if we are building up a lot of sensorization, a lot of predictions, etc., and we are not able to take corrective action at the right time, if our response time is not adequate, then ultimately, again, we are not able to avoid failures. So this is also very important, that how to make sure that our closed looping is being done very adequately. So how the operators, how the let's say maintenance team are acting on these alerts, which are generating within a stipulated timeline. So we are working on different aspects. One is that increasing our automation maturity, as we mentioned about this increase on the field devices, availability of those. Of course, there are a lot of sensorization was already there. There are a lot of need of new sensorization, especially in the IoT sensors. That is what we felt that is very easy to maintain. In today's scenario, conventional sensors is very difficult to maintain. There are a lot of maintenance activity happens. Sometimes it gets damaged, cable gets cut. Then your controller is also not maintained properly because of hazardous environment. So IoT devices helps us a lot in terms of, it's basically plug and play. You plug it and then you have edge computing available there. You get sufficient information at the edge, and of course, whenever it's needed, you can also compute it to a platform, etc. Then the second part is that integration. We are also working on the integration part, as Mr. Anup says. Pi is also one of the integrating kind of thing, that there's other lot of integration tools are available in the market. So which is basically very important to integrate all those information together. Anything is suitable for an industry should choose upon that. And then finally, closed looping. So closed looping, how you can build a system which basically acknowledge your alerts, act upon it within a specific timeline, and then close loop it. So that is what we are basically working on this aspect of our digitalization. And it's not only for the power plant, it's for entire the value chain of our industry, of our organization. So that is in short, I'd like to share on this forum at this point. Thank you. If anyone has any
Thank you.
question, please.
Yes. Thank you,
So when
Mr.
you
Koshis.
say-
We'll definitely take questions. Yes,
Yeah,
Mr. Anup, you have any
I
questions?
just wanted to ask Sarojji. Sarojji, when it comes to the closed looping, which you are saying, you basically are talking about in case of an alarm is there, whether you are able to capture that moment and then study the root cause, right?
So of course, alert, when you are getting an alert, that means it is being captured. But whether it is being addressed or not, that is the closed looping, what I'm talking about. So there's an alert in the system, whether on this alert some action has been taken within a stipulated timeline. Otherwise, you're going to have this breakdown anyway. So that is what I try to mention.
So what we do is we give an alarm. This alarm has a hierarchy. So if this one operator doesn't take care, the next one supervisor gets it, then the next one, then the next one. So this hierarchy is there, we also point out to our system, also points out to which are the anomaly areas through the diagram, and then he can go over and take a fiddle around with the parameters there, and then what the top management can do is, it happens late in the night, they can go and through a program event frame, they immediately give a timeline that within this day time what happened. Thak se data comes to them, they study it and they can easily. So this
Absolutely.
is how
It should have an escalation matrix as well.
Yeah.
For the senior management, if something is getting delayed, that should be escalated to certain levels.
Yeah, that
and the dashboard should also have this facility, whether the the actions are being taken properly or not. We all normally what we do is that we also integrate our CMMS system with this entire, let's say, our digital footprint. So So one side, it is basically connecting all the diagnostic software, which are basically throwing us alert. And on the other hand, we also have a connection to our CMMS system, which basically ensures the closed looping.
Thank you.
Yes.
Now, on the similar lines, I would like to invite thoughts of Mr. Nilesh Shah. Thank you, Mr. Nilesh, for joining us. And
Nilesh sir, how are you? Nilesh sir, I think me and him, तो एक बार हम बात कर चुके हैं Nilesh जी, if you remember.
Oh,
You
good
are one to
memory.
one, if you remember. Yeah.
Nice.
I could not recall, but anyway, we'll discuss later on.
Sure.
So, Ekta, thank you very much. I think it's a very interesting topic today. Slightly, I'm adding some flavor into the topic. It's not only we talk about digitalize, we talk about digitalization as well as advanced analytics technology. Okay, because unless and until you don't analyze the data, what you are capturing from digitalization, it has no meaning. So I believe in analyzing the data because that only will give you the real output, real result. So what is the advantage? Now everybody knows that most of these steel plants, they have their own captive power plant, right? I'm not here to discuss that why they have their own captive power plant. There are various reasons.
नाज़िया नाम डाल दो, मैंने डाल दिया हमारा list.
Sorry. Ekta, you have to mute yourself.
So we are not here to discuss that why most of the steel companies, they have their own captive power plant. It has its own merits or maybe demerits, but just ensure that the importance of running all the power plants in a smooth way. Okay, so any kind of a breakdown in the power plant may create a direct loss to the company. Okay, so now today, most of the power plants are digitalized or they are going to digitalize. So in my word, I say that it's a next gen power plants, next generation power plant. Okay, we have seen how the technology has been transferred. Like old vehicles, my first vehicle was having analog meter, and today we have a digital display. We know that what's the advantage of digital display because it gives alarm. Okay, earlier vehicle, if I don't put a seat belt, I was not getting any kind of signal. Today, because of the digital technology, I'm getting all the signals, and whatever you want, everything is possible. Today, vehicles are available with Industry 4.0 technology. Whatever you want, it is possible. Nothing is impossible. So we have to take advantage of this technology in our manufacturing process, manufacturing plant. So today I'm sharing for power plants, but it is applicable to all the industries because basics of automation is same for all the industries. Now in power plant, how it helped? Okay, somebody call IoT, somebody call IoTT, somebody call Industry 4.0. Now we are going to Industry 5.0, or somebody call digital technology. The basic platform is same. Okay, how it helps? It helps to, like in power plant, it helps to monitor the combustion. Okay, so we call combustion dynamics monitoring system. Now, the advantage of it is that heat rate reduction can be reduced by 1%. Now, if you, I don't know who will, what is the implication of 1% heat rate reduction in combustion? So it has a great benefit. So if you want to discuss in detail, I think it will take a lot of time, a lot of debates has to happen. Second is that heat recovery. Today, a lot of heat is getting waste, whether you go to petrochemical, whether you go to oil exploration or power plant, lot of heat recovery system now people have started the generation. So advanced analytics can be monitored and actively, identify the leaks in the complete exchanger. So you can pre-actively identify that, okay, these joints are getting weak. So tube joints, you can detect the failure detect, you can do well in advance. You can also monitor online emission. Now this is something new. Now, when earlier those days, you see the lot of black fumes are coming and then you used to take corrective action. Today, you monitor emission online. Okay, so emission tracking to regulate the emission to control in a real-time basis is possible today by adopting the digital technology. Then you can do the heat tracing. Now, digital technology is nothing but the use of various sensors and various temperature, pressures by using various sensor technology. So there are different type of sensors, but heat tracing is possible. Sensor can detect when and where heat tracing is required. So most of the time we doesn't know where to capture the data, when to capture. So this kind of technology will help you in a big way. Then digital technology also helps you to monitor the air inline leakage. That is very, very important. So there are smart meters available which can determine the condenser back pressure effect. Okay, so when in system there is a lot of back pressure because of the failure of some system, this can be monitored by the sensors. Then in entire process, there are so many valves, there are so many tapping points. So we have now today smart meters available which can monitor the aging of the valve, aging of the joints, and we can also proactively identify the leakage point, and so that it will help us to work out the schedule of the shutdown, whether you want to replace those defective parts or you want to repair in a definite time period. Then you have a dynamic pressure, steam pressure, temperature, and the flow adjustment instruments are available. So heat train can be reduced at least by 0.5%. So there is a great advantage of such system. Now, when I say that today, apart from this, people have started using artificial intelligence and machine learning. Now it helps us to basically connect with your maintenance functions, and it will improve the performance of your equipment. So AI and ML, now people have started introducing along with digital technology. Now if you see the basic the machine learning, how it works, basically it will help you that what is happening in your machine, what happened actually. Okay, so you'll get the insight of the complete historical data of your machine. Then you will understand that why it is happening. Okay, why it has happened. So you have to understand the relationship and the constraints of your machines, of your process, of your equipment. And you can also predict that what is going to happen, what will happen. So that will determine how well you will set your algorithm to predict that what will be the life of your consumable parts. Like today, condition monitoring system is very well, acceptable by the industries in most of the manufacturing industries. So similarly, here also by using ML, you can also identify those kind, you can predict those kind of failures, and you can also, utilize, you can optimum utilize your machines. Okay, so you can have a maximum utilization, you can improve the efficiency. So this is what is from my side. And basically, I can also tell you in the conclusion that digital technology, by doing analysis, proper analysis, you can improve your efficiency of the plant, efficiency of the equipment. You can ensure the reliability of your operation. That is most important in today's time. If you buy any vehicle today, some vehicles they say that don't require free service. No, nobody gives the free service to the vehicle. That is nothing but the advanced digital system. And with a proper analysis, they have selected the timeline that when this will get failed, they can predict the failures. Most of the equipments are equipped with the modems or signals, so that the manufacturer also can monitor the condition of your vehicle when it is on the road. So those kind of things now it is getting implemented in the manufacturing center, and power plant is the right example. Whatever automation up to what level you can do, sky is the limit. You can do. Okay, you can do it. So ultimately, it is also helping us the transmission losses actually, because power losses nobody discuss, and it is not so easy or so acceptable. But if you adopt this technology, one can work out that how you can tap the losses and how to implement. So thank you very much. That's it from my side. Over to Ekta.
Thank you so much, Mr. Nilesh, for sharing insights. Now, I would like to invite the thoughts of Mr. Lokesh Chabisa from Hindustan Zinc. So, Mr. Lokesh, over to you. Thank you.
Yeah, am I audible, Ekta?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so firstly, I would like to thank Ekta and Anup and all the team members organizing such a very beautiful topic like digital transformation. And I would like to add on as Mr. Nilesha said that earlier we had a analog meter in our car. Then in today's scenario, we can see the digital meter and how using the AI ML, we can see the like what is the average on a particular average I am driving my car. And like if I exceed the limit, I will lose some money. If I will be in certain range, I will save some money. In that perspective, AI ML is helping in the every individual. So here I would like to talk about how SZL is leveraging the digital technology in different sectors, like how we are using AI ML in manufacturing, how we are using AI ML for the personal safety. We have certain use cases, so I would like to take in detail as well. So how we are using AI ML for the predictive analytics as well as the predictive maintenance as well. And then I would like to talk about the big data like ERP systems, how we are using leveraging the OSFI data to figure out the where are there are some certain gaps. So we can figure out like these are the gaps, so we can fill in that. So in that perspective, we are using the digital transformation for the different sectors. So firstly, I would like to talk how digital information is helping us in personal safety. So basically, we have captive power plants, smelters as well. So there are a lot of personal people is working in the different high risk zone area as well. So what we did, we have our CCTV cameras that we integrated with the one software that is analytical based software. If person is not using the specific PPs respective the zone, they easily that the system get alert to the plant head, plant manager, and start capturing the videos as well. So person is very alert. Suppose if I'm going to not wearing my helmet or I'm not going to wear the leather or jacket and all, automatically the plant head will get the message and they will get the recording as well. So just because of the accidents. So in that way, like we help the personal safety. And the other thing is like how we can reduce the cost of poor quality. So earlier, like the people is taking the sample manually. So simply we use the video analytics. We did sampling using the AI ML. Like what should be the actual picture of my finished good that is going to deliver to the my customer. If there is any spot on the finished good ingot and all, so the system will automatically reject that particular ingot. So ultimately, aim objective is that the faulty ingot should not be delivered to my customer. Customer experience is very important for in today's manufacturing sector. So in that perspective, we also utilize the digital transformation. And apart from it, like there are a lot of projects as well, like how we can automate all the manual activities into the automation. Then once we did in automation, how we can utilize, how we can leverage the tech automation projects into the sustainable production or sustainable delivering that perspective, we are utilizing the digital transformation. So is there any other thing like I would like to talk about the ERP system, software as a services as well. So they are different bucket as well. So I would not like to restrict myself on the only particularly on like captive power plant. So we do have captive power pyro smelter. Apart from it, we have utility plans as well. So like for the entire organization, we have different certain roadmap, like how we can going from digital all the way to digital mature to digital expert. In that perspective, we have different segments. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Over to you.
Actually, yeah, we have done a full integration in Hindustan Zinc Limited, EQX.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do.
And you have, I think, 550 megawatts of power
Yeah.
generation
Siemens
through
was-
various, right? Yeah.
Yes.
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 Over to Ekta.
So, yeah. Thank you, Mr. Lokesh, for sharing your thoughts. Now, may I request Mr. Alok Mukherjee to please share your thoughts, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Ekta. Thank you, Anoop ji. Just a check back if I'm audible. Just
Yes, you
thank
are
you.
loud and
Okay, thank you. So it was very nice listening to all the speakers, and being the last one to speak has its advantages, so that I can pick up on the information and the wisdom which has been provided and elaborate a little bit on them. On the flip side, it might appear as repetition. So if it happens, please bear with me, because the some of the things which were mentioned in the earlier lectures, those were so very important that I thought I'll touch upon them a little bit, so as to make it familiar not merely to the experts who have been speaking, but also to the larger audience. The number one question was, whether, this type of digital transformation is as important for CPP as it is important for a power plant. That is the foremost question which comes up naturally. So naturally, as all our experts have mentioned just now, it is a resounding yes, because the CPP is basically can be looked at as a power plant which is providing input to the main business. So from two perspectives, whether to reduce the input cost, it is important, and secondly, as we all know, as per our regulation, this power can also, the surplus power can also be sent to the grid, so that so if we can generate higher amount of power, so it is definitely adding to the profitability of the business. So from both these points, the digital transformation of CPP is as important as of any other part of the business or for a power plant. That is number one. Number two is that one big very aspect of CPP is still, let us say that most of the power plants and especially CPPs, they are based on fossil fuel. So from the now there is so much focus on environment, climate change, etc. And if we are somehow able to increase the efficiency, in other words, if we can improve on the heat rate, which in in other words, to put it very simply, that to generate a certain amount of output, if we are required to burn less amount of fossil fuel, then indirectly or directly, I will say, we are helping the environment in a very big way. And as we have heard from the various industry experts, the digital transformation of a power plant from the earlier stages to these stages, they have come a long way in improving the efficiency and the improving the heat rate of the plant. Now, how does that happen? Dealing with such issues now in a more regular manner. So, and in one of the slides which Mr. Anup had also shown, and I'll be very happy if he can just share that slide also, so that I can elaborate a little bit on the slide in which he had shown how the heat rate improvement can be done. So while I am there, I will also say that the heat rate improvement in a power plant can be broadly categorized into controllable losses and non-controllable losses. This is what normally referred to in power plant. Now the controllable losses are basically dependent on the temperature, on the parameters which are on display. Like if you
Sir,
look
you can
at
see it. I'm sorry to interrupt. You can see the slide.
Yeah, we can. Thank you very much.
Yeah, this is okay.
So what we can see, what we can say, there are certain parameters which are controllable, like main steam temperature, spray pressure, reheat temperature, reheat spray, and they have a lot of I will say bearing on the heat rate or efficiency of the plant on real-time basis. Now these things, of course, these things are also available in the control room. But the good thing about digital transformation and industry 4.0 is that there is a democratization of this data. So this data is now available not only in the control room, but it is available to the plant manager, it is available to the maintenance head. And in cases where there are multiple units, it is also available at the corporate center. And another good thing about these, digital interventions is that these are all time stamped and there is a big historian. So these data get accumulated over a period of time. And so again, I come back to one of the key words which had been mentioned by my earlier speakers, that is about analysis. Now, analysis can only happen if we have, continuous flow of data and information, and which can be stored, which can be retrieved, which can be, analyzed, as we say. So this industry 4.0, and especially the solutions which Anup had just now mentioned, these provide the base for by which, this monitoring is possible, number one. So thereby, we can take immediate action. And as we say, these are the low hanging fruits. One doesn't have to do too much. We can just, take immediate action, and we can, improve the heat rate by reducing the controllable losses. Apart from that, the historian will help us to make analysis over a period of time. For instance, in a month, how much have we lost, for reheat spray? The operation person might always say that no matter how much I close the valve, there is always going to be some reheater spray. So there, this is the same data is being analyzed by the maintenance person, and you can make a calculation that even if you do some maintenance activity, how much benefit will accrue because of that factor. These are real-time benefits which are being visible. So here, monitoring and analysis, it is happening because we have this facility of not only having this data, which is seen, the same data is being seen by all the concerned stakeholders. And also we have the facility of having a history of this data over a period of time. So analysis is possible. Now, there are certain other factors, which are beyond the purview of immediate operation and maintenance, that we call the non-controllable factors. For instance, as someone had mentioned that, condenser vacuum, that plays a big role in overall heat rate or efficiency of the power plant. So here, sometimes it is not easily to set right if a particular unit has a condenser vacuum problem. But we know what are the issues which can be done in a shutdown. And here we can measure that, what is the loss which is happening because of this deviation of this parameter. And so we can make a trade-off, that if we take a shutdown and we can rectify it, then how much we are going to gain. So all this can be possible based on real data, which is available to all the stakeholders, and real-time analysis is possible. So I'll not go into all the parameters because of many of us who are actually working in power plants, we can understand, where other parameters also have an influence on the heat rate efficiency and heat rate improvement. Let me come to the other part related to availability or the reliability of a power plant. This type of instrumentation or this type of data analytics, they not only provide us the alarms and notifications if the values are coming to the upper control limit or lower control limit. That is fundamental, that we should have. And as Mr. Anup was saying, here we have the added advantages of giving a graded notifications. So the notifications can come to all the stakeholders via SMS or email whenever those limits are there. That is one part. But the main thing, now what we are focusing on, as some of my previous speakers had highlighted, that, there has to be something beyond that, when the value reaches an alarm, and very soon it will reach the breakdown value. So that is only the first part. So now there are tools available over and above what we have, by which the early stage of damage can also be seen. We can use various pattern recognition, mathematical models, data analytics, by which even the early stages of failure can be predicted. And thereby we can generate a notification. It goes to the concerned people, and he can actually plan the shutdown with all his spares and manpower before the value actually comes to the alarm value or tripping value or the breakdown value. So this is one of the very big examples, very of the data analytics and the big data which is being utilized because of this industry 4.0. Apart from that, we also had discussed briefly about integration. As our previous speakers have noted, now industry 4.0, especially those based on advanced features like pi, they are sensor agnostic. Like you can have the DCS, you can have various sorts of DCS from any manufacturer. People ask me, if you have Emerson DCS, will it work? If you have ABB DCS, so it is agnostic as far as that. It can take data from PLCs, it can take data from other sensors also, and there are various attachments possible which can be incorporated, and you can fetch the data. That is one part. The second part is, the implementation can be done in a phased manner. I have told that, there are many plants which are old, especially when I talk to people from the state electricity boards or other. They say that in our plant, we don't have advanced instrumentation. So will it work? So, my answer is, even with minimum instrumentation also, we can draw on the power of industry 4.0, give them the facility of monitoring for all the stakeholders, the basic analytics, and as and when there is requirement for more information, more analysis, you can always keep on attaching other instruments also. So you can do it in a phased manner, and you can scalable. For instance, presently the business comprises of, say, 3 or 4 units. You want to develop another plant at a distant place, so easily that plug and play is possible with that. So it is easily scalable. Another feature, very good feature, which Mr. Anup just alluded to in response to a question, is that there are bolt-on features. The some of the things which are coming from use cases, there are certain things which are coming from the OEM themselves because of their vast experience. But gradually there is always a desire to have more and more. The people want more features. So those features can be developed separately, and then they can be bolted on to the system. So those features are also possible. So in short, I will say that, earlier we used to say that it gives a commercial, business advantage, commercial advantage, those things. Now we say that it's a business imperative. It has to be there. There is no way you can do without it. The question is how soon we get our hands together and start doing it. Thank you. Thank you. That's all from my side.
Thank you so much. Now, may I invite the thoughts of Mr. Ranjit Gangle from Tata Power. So, Mr. Ranjit, thank you for joining, and please share your thoughts on the subject.
Yes, hi. Thank you so much, Ekta, and thank you so much, my co-panelists. In fact, my colleagues, Mr. Saurabh Singh, Mr. Saurabh Ghosh, Mr. Lokesh Chaubisa, Mr. Alok Mukherjee have already shared a lot of inputs on the analytics part, right? I was just seeing the presentation which Mr. Anup was sharing. So yes, while there has been considerable work which has been done by, Mr. Anup's team along with my colleague, Mr. Mod from our Trombay plant. So see, the importance of analytics, is it just cannot be undermined. Very critical in today's day and age where, we are looking towards progressing towards higher efficiencies, especially on the thermal power generation side. Today, also as we are aware, we are slowly but surely progressing into the renewables sector as well, wherein that the analytics for generation of that also becomes equally important. So the more efficient we make our thermal power plants, I was just seeing, in fact, Prayagraj Power, which we recently have partnered with. So there also, as far as the analytics are concerned, it helps us basically identify as to how are we monitoring and measuring our key performance indicators of any power plant, without getting into the details of that. And that also helps us to greater efficiencies. See, today, if I were to take a call, in terms of, let's say, if I were to choose between one power plant vis-a-vis the other, we have about 6 thermal power plants in Tata Power, including the one at Mundra. So analytics is the only tool which I would say, which helps us drive efficiencies, which helps us take decisions, which helps us, in our day-to-day operations as to how do we, because ultimately all the power that we generate or produce is for the consumption of the discoms or the electricity distribution companies. Having said that, I'd like to touch upon very briefly on the renewables side. Renewables, we all know is a sunrise industry now, and Tata Power has also progressed, fairly deeply into that sector. And analytics for renewables becomes even more critical now, because I need to know how are my plants performing, how much are they generating, because unlike thermal, this is heavily dependent on atmospheric conditions, which we are all aware. So if I know as to, how are my plants doing, and when I'm talking about renewables, the majority of it is on the solar part, while there is some element of wind generation as well. But it is solar which is really, pulling the weight on the renewables front. So various analytics, like say, for example, we have, an application called iTaps. Okay, so it's an app which is, you can download on your phone, and you can monitor remotely the generation of all the solar power sites across the country. So even for a what do you call, a customer who wants to know how much is his plant generating, and if he wants to, pose a query, or for that matter even register a complaint, this becomes very important. And this is something which has been totally developed in-house by my colleagues in Tata Power Solar. So that's something which becomes very critical. And I mean, that's all I have to say. In the interest of time, since all my colleagues have already touched upon in great detail on the analytics part. But that's all I had from my side. And thank you so much, Ekta and Anup, for having me here. Thanks a lot.
Ranjit ji,
Yes.
you people are also utilizing a lot of predictive analytics of Aviva.
We are doing that. We are doing that.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
How are
Yes.
you finding that, sir? I just wanted to know because.
No, so that is giving us results,
Hmm.
though I would still say it's a little early days, but it is giving us results as far as these predictive analytics are concerned. In fact, we also have a concept of reliability centered management, which you may be aware of, in the thermal generation area. So that is also, helping us in terms of, because see, again, as I said, ultimately, it's the thermal power generation which really is powering the country's energy needs today, the bulk of it. Okay. So while renewables will be there, or is there and is growing right now, but when it comes to the, to a stage where we want an immediate power supply to be kind of distributed or generated, it's the thermal plants which really take the full weight.
Correct.
So from that perspective, yes, it's important, it's critical for us, and it's doing well so far from what we see.
Thank you, Mr. Ranjit, for sharing your insights. So, any thoughts, Mr. Anup? I have already mentioned on the chat box to our audience that if we have any questions, we would take it from here. Or if you want directly to ask questions to our speakers, please do the needful. So, if we have any questions, audience, we are open for the Q&A.
Yeah, it's Adarsh here. Actually,
Yes.
it's very really nice. Listening to all the speakers over here. So you have touched upon each and every aspect of the power plant. But I think as the country is going for the decarbonization in the years to come, already we have planned for the carbon neutrality by 2070. So at present in India, we have got around 410 gigawatt of installed capacity, out of which 241 gigawatt is from the thermal power plant, as what Mr. Ganguly was stating. And still we are generating around 163 gigawatt of renewable source, primarily from solar and then wind. So in the days to come, wherein there will be a possibility that mostly the renewable energy will pick up, as the government is planning to increase its capacity by 450 megawatt by 2030 2050. So in that scenario, so the load on the thermal power plant is going to get reduced in the daytime, and mostly in the night and the night time they will be they will be acting as a backup to meet the power demand in the India. So in that scenario, there will be instability in terms of frequency, there will be instability in terms of voltage. So in that way, we need to be a little bit more focused on smart grid methodology, because as of presently, our grids is not so robust. Still, we are facing a lot of issues, even with the captive power plant also. We have got a lot of islanding issues if you see the state-wise, even though if it is a non-rainy season. So I think that is a critical issues which we need to address. Most importantly, in the context of what the way we are having this roundtable. So in the context of that, my question will be like, as the renewable energy is going to be increasing in the days to come, so there will be a partial load operation for the thermal power plant. Even if you see the CIA data also, presently all the captive power plants running at around 56 to 60% of their PLF, and mostly the NTPC are operating at around 70% of the PLF,
70.
not more than that.
Yeah.
So that is the data which what the Indian government has stated. So looking into that also, we need to also look into it how the industry 4.0 digitalization will help us in having a better efficiency of boiler or better heat rate at the station level at the partial load operation.
If you can take the question.
Yeah, I'll take it. That's a very good question, because
Very good question. Yeah.
recently there has been a notification by the government that the power plants, thermal power plants may be required to go even up to 40%. So that's a big challenge, because earlier on there used to be a lot of fight whether you can come back even to 55%, but now they are required to come to 40%. And the question is very right in pointing out that at that level there is not only a question of stability of the unit, even the efficiency of the unit takes a beating. That is all the more reason why accurate measurement and analysis is so very important. Now while we are discussing, certain boards I am aware of, the traditional state electricity boards, they are bringing out tenders related to industry 4.0, where they want the economic load dispatch of their units also to be shown. So people are already thinking along those lines, that if I have a fleet of say 17 to 20 units, and if I am asked on a business wise, on a station wise, that I have to maintain only 50% of my plant load factor for a certain period of time, how much is it beneficial for me to shut down some of the units which do not come in on the merit order rating, and it is beneficial for me to run the other one. For that you need to have a very quick evaluation and decision making, and that can only happen when you have this information base, or the database on which you can take a engineering and commercial decision. So in short, what I will say, that with these challenges, integration of RE, integration of intermittent sources of supply, demand side management, etc., there is all the more reason that we should quickly move into digitalization of our power units. This is the answer I would like to give. Anupji.
Yeah. Even Excel Industries, I'm not aware exactly. I think they are based in US. They have all the three sources of power: wind, thermal, as well as gas. And on a given time, when they realized that on a given month, they were supposed to get very good wind, they were able to predict. They completely shut down their thermal plant for a month, and they were able to take care of the all penalties. I mean, they took a risk because the wind was so good as was predicted. See, even if you predict, suddenly God may forget to breathe, we don't know. so wind can go off like this, but luckily for them, the wind kept on running. They have a pi system, and this system predicted their wind farm, giving them a good power output, and they were able to shut down for a month. And they found it very like too much of a relief, where they had to carry out a lot of inward maintenance on it, which they were able to comfortably do it. So these things are being managed somehow, but yeah, they still are a challenge. I mean, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So any more questions or any thoughts? We're already, it's 5, we are over time because of the interesting insights. So any final thoughts from any of the speakers before we wrap up, or from Mr. Anup?
Yeah, I would just request everyone that why don't we come on a one-to-one session, give us a chance to, deep dive into what we are trying to say. In fact, for Saurabh I was just going to give him a call that we are planning to come to Bokaro Steel Plant. We are traveling to Calcutta next week. So we thought that, I mean, my MD only told me to take time from him. So somehow or the other, let's catch up, because power efficiency is going to be one of the key factors in let's say 2 years time, 2024 plus. Modi government is going to come very hard on the bad power units, because they will take all the power from Nepal, which they are already trying to catch from China. Say usko, they want to get them out from China. So they are creating a lot of these river, what do you call them as hydropower generation from there.
Hydropower, yeah.
And they were, I heard in the grapevine that a lot of pressures are going to come to the power generation people who are not generating well. So we can meet, we can share, we can talk about lot about the gases, how we capture the carbon monoxide. As I was talking to Saurabh once, that we can capture that in real time, carbon monoxide generation, which has to be below 900 ppm as per the the norms which has been fixed by the government. So we can really talk a lot on that. So just
I
give a
have
chance. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm Praveen Shekhar from Jezreel, Tarapur.
Yeah.
So I'm looking after level 2 automation here for the entire plant.
Hmm.
And in addition to what one of our speaker has briefed about this closed looping. So in addition to that, I want to tell it to the round table that not only, this closed looping should be in terms of the compensatory model, that is PID based. Mostly in our industry, in the steel industry, we have compensatory models which are based on PIDs. Everywhere we should have something kind of adaptive or learning based models everywhere. I mean, if we talk about, let's say, RHF or rating furnace or HSM or laminar cooling, or let's say in most of the places it is. I mean, it is based on earlier stages, ANN and all. But as time has changed, so yes, most of the places should have adaptive models. Adaptive and learning models based on artificial intelligence, and the latest artificial intelligence, of course. This is one purview, one view rather, and the other one is the conventional thought process of the leaders. Those leaders at top management in top management, they are thinking that digitalization is digitization, right? So that's the problem. So that thought process needs to be changed. I think you people should come forward, and you people need to talk about. There is a huge difference between digitalization and digitization. So it's a high time for them to think that we are already digitized. We are already digitized, and most of the places we are already digitized. So it's digitalization which is more important in this era. I have this thing. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. You pointed out a great thing. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank
Actually,
you.
so digitization is not a new thing. It was there earlier as well. But I think digitalization, which is something we can do on top of that. But there's a absolutely right misconception is that digitization and digitalization are probably same. Rightly.
Yeah. So I think we had interesting insights from all the speakers. So on that note, of course, I would like to thank Mr. Alok, Mr. Saurav Ghosh, Mr. Saurav Singh, Mr. Ranjit, Mr. Lokesh, Mr. Nilesh Shah for being here and sharing lovely insights on digitization of captive power plants. Mr. Anup, thank you for being a wonderful moderator as well along with me. And audience, thank you for making the session interactive and engaging with your questions. We shall be sharing the entire session video with you all, also with the speakers. And as said by Mr. Anup, we would like to reconnect you with eCubix team for one-on-one brainstorm sessions for the interesting solutions that they're talking about. So on this note, thank you once again and have a lovely evening, and we shall reach you out again. Bye.
Thank
Take
you,
care and
Ekta.
stay
Thank
safe,
you, everyone.
Thank you, Rohit.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you all the speaker panels and all. Thank you very much.